What's going on, guys? It's DJ Cool, and today I'm going to be breaking down how to make your drill piano sound more exciting. Alright, so what I've done is I've made a bunch of drill piano melodies, and what I'm going to show you is how to improve the physical melody, like the actual notes and stuff, and what plugins slash effects you can put on it to make it sound more exciting. Before we really get into any of that, I'm going to show you what I got here, and that's I got a key zone just on the standard key zone piano, and I've routed it to a track here. I have half speed on it through gross beat. I got a high pass on it, and I've actually brought this up pretty far into the low mids because kind of like the iconic sound of drill piano is something that's lacking a lot of low end. It's like dark but lacking low end. And I also just got a reverb on here, you know, your stock reverb. And these two things I'm going to talk about later. But yeah, let's jump into the first pattern. It's just two chords technically. I mean, this is like a E sus chord, and if you really want to get specific, I think it's an E sus chord. I don't know. I just consider it E minor with F sharp, and that's pretty basic. It just sounds like this. Alright, so as you can hear, nothing fancy. You just got four chords. That's it. There's nothing really to it. You got E minor, and it goes up to the 5 in B minor, but that's played as an inversion. That's what we're going to be improving from. Alright, so something that you can do is actually, it's very simple. What you do is you take the 3 of the chord, like the note that's in the middle, and you move it up an octave. So all you got to do, I'll talk about that last one in a second. You just take what we had before, select it, and then just control up arrow. It's up an octave. So over here, what I did is I actually played this as an inversion. Like the F sharp is going to be the root note as opposed to the D, and then I put the D on top. So it's a little different than this, but I just thought it gave it a little, you know, flavor. So I'm going to play that for you. So what you can do, right, is you can mess with the velocity of this. So say you want the upper end to be a little more quiet, you can bring that down. You know, it really depends on the kind of sound you're going for, but that's a simple way to give your chords a little more life without adding anything really complex in it. Next, we're moving up in the world. We've gone from a 4-bar phrase to an 8-bar phrase, as you can see. I'm gonna go in and break it down. So what we got is the first two are the same as the previous pattern. Your notes with the higher 3 up here. Then what we have over here, this is a version of B minor without the F sharp. I just put B in, or rather D in twice with your B in the middle. We got another one of the examples of the B minor chord, but the note in the middle is played up an octave. And then what we do is we come from some inversions for the second time around to make the phrase a little more exciting. And instead of starting on E for the E minor, we actually start on G. And for like that E sus chord, we're starting on F sharp. And I did the same thing here as I did here. I did an octave of one note and left out another one, so in this case an F octave of F sharp, and I left out the E. So, you know, it's something a little different. And then we got another inversion of a B minor chord, and I actually added another note on. So I'm not adding any additional notes to the chord. I'm taking the same notes and adding like different layers of them. So I'm not adding like a new note or making like a 7 chord or something, you know, somewhat complex like that. I'm just taking the same notes we were playing before and layering them in different ways, which is what I did right here. So I'm going to play that for you guys. So yeah, that definitely gave it some, more like energy, more flavor, much better than your kind of standard 4 chord progression that we started with. So let's move up in the world some more. Moving up to piano 4, pattern 4 that I made. And all I did to make this one is I took the last one, I came into here, I clicked strum, I fiddled with the settings a little bit until I got something that I liked. And now it sounds like this. Okay, so moving on to the final pattern that I made. This is just the last pattern that I made, with the strummed chords, but I added in some like filler notes here to give it a little more bounce, because it's kind of boring just to listen to chords over and over again if you got nothing else going on. In a lot of drill songs you'll have the 808 going on too, so it'll give it like some more melodic substance. But if you're looking for something a little more complex, I added in some notes. Again, the same notes except for the G with the sus chord, but I guess it's with E minor, so it's technically, the same note. But we're just playing different octaves / layers of the same notes. And it really like brings a whole lot more energy to what we first did. So I'm gonna play that. So yeah, some of the more observant people might have noticed that I actually put the velocity down on those notes too. I thought they were a little, more overpowering on their own. But yeah, that's pattern 5 that I made. We took it from just your standard 4-chord progression, did a few simple things, and got, something that sounded a little more complex and a little more ear-catching. But you can do stuff with effects and, changing the physical sound that will make something like this, sound a little more interesting and more appealing to the listener. And the first thing you can do is change the sound. Keyzone, it's got 3 dope piano sounds that I like to use for drill. The Keyzone piano, the Yamaha Grand, and the Steinway. The rest are just electronic and Rhodes, so I don't really bother. But I hear these 3 used in drill beats a lot by producers. So, you're pretty safe getting this and, just choosing between these 3 if you're looking for a new sound, if you think this Keyzone piano won't work for you. Something else that I hear drill producers doing is turning up the attack, and that'll kind of make your note sound like it's more fading in. So I'm going to play it with the attack turned up. So yeah, I'm sure some of you have heard drill beats with that kind of sound, and now you know how to do it. You go in and just turn up the attack on the Keyzone. I'm going to turn that back down though for the next couple things I'm going to be doing. And those next couple things are going to be in the effects over here. The first plugin I want to highlight is Isotope Vinyl. It's a free plugin. It's used by a lot of lo-fi producers. But what I like to use it for is these 2 knobs that I got turned up and down here. So it's technically 3. But you got the wear. The wear makes it sound like more dated, more kind of vinyl, like more older, more vintage. And that's something I really like to do in some of my drill beats. As well as the warp, which does what it says it does. It just warps the notes, makes it sound a little off key. Down here, you can adjust this knob and make it sound, more and more distorted, more and more bad, quite frankly, like in terms of like quality. But that might be what you're going for. If you want something that's like more in the background, more kind of faded out, you can turn this knob down and get down to like the 1930, 1950 setting. I don't like to go down here too far, but 1980 is a pretty cool sound because it removes a lot of those frequencies. I'm going to show you guys what it does. So yeah, it's definitely a really dope tool if you guys want to like give it, a different kind of sounding sound. As you can hear, if I mess with the knobs, it really changed the sound a lot. The final thing I want to touch on is side chaining. I've heard side chaining used in a few drill songs, a very few number. One was like Local Scammer by G4 Boys. It sounds like the piano sidechained. I don't know if they do it in this exact way, but I got this plugin called Kickstarts from Nicky Romero. I know there's a way to do it with Gross Beat too. This plugin isn't free like the Isotope Vinyl one. It was like $5 or something. It's honestly worth it. It gives it a lot of dope side chaining sounds, and it allows you to mix it in and out. You can also do with Gross Beat. I'm pretty sure if you come into here, you can go and put the sidechain setting on, but it doesn't have those all available like instantly, like right here, like Kickstart. You'll have to go in and physically change the wave. So I like to turn it, you know, down around 30 to 40. I'll just kind of put it right here, and I just keep the standard free punch like standard setting on, and that can give it a really dope sound. So I'm gonna play it with the piano here. So yeah, you can obviously adjust the amount of sidechaining that you use, but I think it really gives it a dope bounce to just have, you know, a little bit on there, as opposed to just having your flat chords just play the entire time. Yeah, these are some quick things you could do to improve your drill piano. We talked about, you know, your physical melodies, changing, you know, certain aspects of the melody, and we also talked about using certain plugins to give it, you know, a different sound. And before I go, I just was checking my YouTube statistics, right? And only 6% of you guys watching these videos are subscribed. So go down right now, hit that subscribe button so I can keep producing this dope drill content for you guys. And I also just released this new free loop kit. It's got 10 loops. It's linked in the description, and you guys can check it out and, you know, get inspired to cook up some drill. But yeah, that's all for me today, and I'll see you guys later.